Over the last 18 months, as more people have been working from home, many have been able to spend time in their gardens. Similarly, cut flower gardening has become the focus of many growers. In a previous video, we discussed how you might be able to make a profit from growing cut flowers, even on a small scale using only a small space in your home garden. In this video, we are going to focus on how you can grow snapdragons. By following a few simple steps and investing a little extra time and effort into your plants, you can easily grow tall, sturdy and beautiful snapdragons. You can download our ebook from the link in the description if you would like to keep this information on hand. Let's get started. The most economical way to produce numerous plants is to start them from seed. When selecting your seed, make sure you choose tall varieties such as Rocket and Madam Butterfly. If you're looking for winter flowering snapdragons, then the Cool series are the variety for you. Smaller packets of seed are great options for small gardens, but if you are growing snapdragons on large expanses, then consider purchasing from wholesale suppliers. Before you start your seed, fill your trays with a fine seedling mix. It is important this mix contain no large gaps into which the tiny seed can fall into. You can also pre-moisten your seedling mix before you sow your seed. This will prevent your seed from becoming dislodged by any water later. Snapdragon seed are especially small. For these seed to germinate, they need sun exposure and must not be sown too deeply into the planting mix. Simply gently sprinkle the seed into the trays. Don't worry if your seed is sown too dense at this point. You can always thin them out later when the time for transplanting comes. Speaking of transplanting, trays of this size are great because they allow for many plugs to be produced in a space-efficient manner. You can sow into larger trays and skip the first transplanting and place the seedlings directly into the ground. After you have sown your seed, you can either leave them as they are, or you can sprinkle a very thin layer of seedling mix or vermiculite over the seed. This will enhance water retention and help prevent your seed from drying out. Within 2 weeks, you should start to see signs of germination. This is what our trays looked like after this time. These seed were sown towards the end of summer. It was warm enough to keep these trays outdoors in a sunny spot to allow for speedy germination, but cool enough to keep the seedlings from suffering from heat stress. As we used trays with many small plugs, we needed to transplant the seedlings into larger trays. When your seedlings have grown roughly 2 sets of true leaves, you can start to fertilize them. We used a dilute solution of all-purpose liquid fertilizer. Depending on your preferences, once your seedlings have developed a healthy root system, you can either transplant them into pots, raised containers, garden beds or growing fields. When doing so, make sure the soil is well composted. Continue feeding your seedlings every week, either with foliar or granular fertilizers. Depending on the temperature, you should start to see signs of flower bud development 2 to 4 months after sowing your seed. As these seed were sown towards the end of summer, it took about 4 months for these plants to start flowering in a pot kept in a growing house. To encourage profuse blooming and overall plant health, potassium-rich fertilizers can be applied at this time. If you are able to, stake your growing snapdragons with poles, wire or netting. Snapdragons are quite heat tolerant, but will need to be watered every day if grown in the heat of the summer. In terms of disease control, drip irrigation will keep the foliage dry and prevent disease spread. Common pests include aphids, thrips and spider mites. Even though you won't be eating your harvest, consider using environmentally friendly control measures such as neem oil, organicides, or bioinsecticide options. Always try and spray for pests in the late evening when beneficial insect activity has diminished. To get the best vase life from your cut snapdragons, harvest the stems when 2 to 3 florets have opened. To prevent your flowers from wilting, cut them either in the early morning or late evening. Make sure you use clean, sharp shears and cut as low to the base of the stem as possible. If you have started your seed early, leave about 15 centimeters of stem on the plant and you may be able to get a second flush from these plants. And that is how easy it is to grow snapdragons in your home garden. Let us know if you have tried to grow snapdragons and whether or not you picked up helpful tips. If you have, please share these and any other questions you have in the comments. Thank you for watching and supporting our channel, and we will see you in the next video.